Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to the Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to the 12 Alvas. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome Lord Sriman Narayan in his form as Lord Sri Krishna today on the second day of the Sri Krishna Janmashtami week celebrated here at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that are physically present at the Sri Narayan Dham, and I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world. Today, in our main topic of discussion, creation, on the 5th of August 2020 is a very, very auspicious day for after a period of 500 years, the Raam Mandir, the Prime Minister of India did the Bhumi praise or the foundation prayer today after the Raam Mandir was locked in a battle for 500 years. And it is appropriate that Lord Sriman Narayan, on his second day in the Sri Krishna Janmashtami, through his grace allowed the Raam Mandir or the foundation ceremony to be held on the second day. The Lord chooses in His time to rectify the wrongs. And 500 years where humankind tried every manner to retrieve the Raam Mandir failed, and it was only in the Lord's own time, notwithstanding the fact that it was His Mandir that the humankind were fighting for. It was only in His time that He chose this reconciliation to take place. Because in the past 70 years of the independence of India, the government of India was not dharmic. Government of India was not dharmic. And under the custodianship of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the Lord chose this matter to be finalized, and it is by His choice only that it was Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, who did the foundation laying ceremony today. Those very people that opposed in the High Court the awarding of the Raam Mandir back to its original status are the very people now want to lay claim to the Raam Mandir. And I stated yesterday that the Lord, for the purposes of intervention, incarnates timelessly. Intervention of what? Intervention of the type of government that was governing India in the past 70 years. This India is being cleared up of a huge mess. India is the soul. Bharat is the soul of planet Earth. And this soul was covered with diseases. Right now, currently at this point in time, India has been attacked by a nuisance neighbor and a dictatorial neighbor. And it is through the militant approach in preserving the cultural dignity of India that the present government of Narendra Modi is warding off these adharmic neighbors who is causing chaos on the borders of India. Anger, hatred, jealousy, greed, pride, and delusion. When these personify from a subtle state to a gross state, the personification of these qualities are called demons. And the personification of humility, peace, equanimity, even-mindedness, the personification of these subtle qualities becomes the Devis and Devatas. And when there is a clash between these two gross personifications, then it is time for the Lord to intervene. And this intervention is called incarnation. So, Lord Sri Krishna's entire lifetime is the long epic called the Mahabharata. This is the story form. The Lord, in His mercy, allows His teachings to be received by the most simple of people and also the most intelligent of people. So Lord Sri Krishna simultaneously teaches through the story of the Mahabharata so that every person from the length and breadth of Earth, of the planet Earth, can understand his intervention, and he reduces this epic into 700 pages as an absolute science in the Bhagavad Gita. So his incarnation is twofold, one for the masses and one for the select few that has evolved over thousands of lifetimes to learn about him through the Bhagavad Gita. And here at the Sri Narayan Dham, we won't go into the story form, we will go into the absolute science of Lord Sri Krishna. So in Sanatana Dharma and other religion as well, there is a huge confusion wherein it is stated that in Hinduism there are many gods. And I want to dispel this myth scientifically today in this discourse. I have done so previously, but I want to do so today in this discourse. There is only one supreme reality, and that is Lord Sriman Narayan. One supreme reality, Lord Sriman Narayan. In Sanskrit, Narayan means the source and goal of all living entities. And there can be no more fitting name of the Supreme Personality. There can be no higher description than being the source and goal of all, underline, all living entities. So Lord Sriman Narayan is not a sectarian Lord. He is the Lord of all. And if, for those that do not believe, who are coming into the dimension of belief, if there is a Lord, he has to be the Lord of all. He has to be the Lord of all. So Narayan simply means, from Sanskrit, translated into English, the Lord of, the source and goal of all living entities. Ram means the source of all pleasure. Ram means the source of all pleasure. And Krishna means all attractive. And whilst I'm talking about Krishna, I'd like to introduce Devashni. What color Krishna? Blue Krishna. Our blue Krishna seated right here in the front in his blue jersey, Vasudeva Ramanuj Das. He is our blue Krishna. Alright? Krishna means all attractive. These are the names of the Lord. They do not foster any animosity amongst any individual. Anyone can say the Lord can be called all attractive. When he is called all attractive, he is known as Lord Sri Krishna. When he is the source of all pleasure, he is known as Lord Ram. And when he is the source of all living entities, when he is the source and goal of all living entities, he is called Narayan. Is it simple? Is it simple? Do you believe this is how God should be addressed? Universal? Universal? This is how God or Lord should be addressed? Yes, so I'm going to show you through authorized scriptures. There are three authorized scriptures. They are the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Brahma Sutras. In the Vedas, a portion of the Vedas is called the Upanishads, and they are listed 108 authorized Upanishads. Within the list of 108 bona fide Upanishads, there's an Upanishad called the Krishna Upanishad. The Krishna Upanishad. And the Krishna Upanishad states explicitly that when Lord Sriman Narayan incarnated as Lord Ram, when Lord Sriman Narayan incarnated as Lord Ram in Treta Yuga, and Treta Yuga is 2 million years ago. 2 million years ago, there were thousands of sages that wanted to embrace him. And Lord Ram stated that it is impossible in the present circumstances to be embraced by you. You will become the wives of the Gopas in my next incarnation as Lord Sri Krishna, and then I will embrace you in that incarnation. And these gopis that had an interactive relationship with Lord Sri Krishna from his childhood in Vrindavan. They were the same sages who took birth many, many years later so that they could embrace the Lord. You understand? Is it scientific? Same Lord, same Lord, Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Ram became Lord Sri Krishna. What's problem with us? Make a noise there. Lord Sri Krishna himself. Lord Ram took his birth. I'll just take a broom and bang. I think it's a reptile of some sort. Chris, give him the broom that can just bang it. It is Lord Ram who incarnates as Lord Sri Krishna, and it is the sages who takes their birth as the gopis. There is nothing untoward in this evolution from Lord Ram in Dwapara Yuga, Lord Sri Krishna. Okay? Then, to verify, there's a verse again related to Lord Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Puran, Canto 10, Chapter 3, texts 9 and 10. When Lord Sri Krishna was born, then his parent Vasudeva, his human parent Vasudeva, saw this, and I'll quote, Vasudeva then saw the newborn child, comma, who had very wonderful lotus-like eyes, and he bore in his 4 hands the 4 weapons, Sankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. On his chest was the mark of Sri Vatsa, and on his neck the brilliant Kostaba gem. Dressed in yellow, his body blackish like a dense cloud, his scattered hair fully grown, and his helmet and earrings sparkling uncommonly with the valuable gem Veduria, the child decorated with a brilliant belt, armlets, bangles and other ornaments appeared very wonderful. So when Lord Sri Krishna was born, which form was he born as? Which form was he born as? As Lord Narayan, in his original form as Lord Narayan. Why was he born in his original form as Lord Narayan? So that there could be no mistake in the world on who Lord Sri Krishna really is. There could be no mistake in the world of who Lord Sri Krishna really is. Then he withdrew his 2 hands and assumed a human-like form so that he could live as a human being. And I stated in yesterday's discourse, if Lord Narayan lives as Lord Narayan on this earth, then his intervention cannot be practical. But if he lives as a human being, his intervention can be practical. So when he was born as Lord Ram, his birth was to annihilate the demons, which is well scripted and well known, but it was also to teach human how to live a moral and ethical life. That was Lord Sri Ram's birth. When Lord Sri Krishna took his birth, he reinforced the morality and the ethical livelihood of man, and he also churned the Bhagavad Gita so that man could understand Sanatana Dharma as an absolute science. And this was one of his reasons for his birth as Lord Sri Krishna, so that he could expound the teachings of the absolute truth in terms of absolute science as Lord Sri Krishna as per the Bhagavad Gita. And I'll just confirm, and I'd like to conclude. So Lord Sri Krishna himself states, chapter 4, verse 7, whenever there is a decline of dharma, what does dharma mean? Righteousness. Whenever there is a decline of dharma, or Arjuna, an uprising of adharma. What is adharma? Unrighteousness. Then I incarnate myself. So Lord Sri Krishna, when he is stating this verse to Arjuna, they are about 80 years old. I read you a verse when Lord Sri Krishna was born. That verse, when Lord Sri Krishna was born, in what form was he born? Lord Narayan. Then 80 years later, he is stating to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, whenever there is a decline of Dharma, O Arjuna, an uprising of adharma, then I incarnate myself. Who is that I incarnate myself? Who is stating this? Lord Sriman Narayan. Can you see how it interfaces? So there is no confusion as who Lord Ram is. There is no confusion as who Lord Sri Krishna is. When Lord Narayan is on planet Earth, he has many different names. He has many different names. For each purpose that he arrives on planet Earth, he takes on a different name and a different and synthesized form. Is it scientific? Is it logical? Am I giving you the scriptural truth? Should there be any confusion in Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism on who the Supreme Lord is relative to his incarnations? Should there be any confusion? Because the Lord himself is stating all that the Guru is stating. Alright? So tomorrow we will continue. The Lord in the form of a rat is troubling us today, is disturbing the satsang, because in the soul of the rat resides the Lord himself. In your soul, the Lord is also residing equally. Jai Sri Narayan.